The envelope felt like ice in my hands. I stood there in her kitchen, staring at the photographs spread across the marble counter. My wife, another man, a yacht I could never afford, her head thrown back in laughter, wearing a dress I'd never seen, diamonds catching Mediterranean sunlight. The lawyer's letter sat beside them. Petition for dissolution of marriage. You weren't supposed to find those yet, Delilah said from the doorway. I looked up. 7 years of marriage. 7 years of working doubles, skipping meals, building what I thought was our future. And she stood there in yoga pants and my old college shirt, sipping coffee like she just told me we were out of milk. Yet, my voice cracked. She shrugged. Honestly, Everett, this life, she gestured around Armada's home, it's suffocating me. But here's the thing nobody tells you about betrayal. It doesn't kill you all at once. It bleeds you slowly, one revelation at a time. Have you ever trusted someone so completely that their lies became your truth? Drop a comment below, because what happened next changed everything I thought I knew about love, loyalty, and revenge. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe, because this story gets darker than you can imagine. Let me back up. 3 months earlier, everything was normal. Well, my version of normal. I'm Everett Kincaid, 34, mechanical engineer for a mid-tier manufacturing firm in Westchester County, New York. Not rich, not poor, comfortable. I design components for industrial machinery, the kind of work that keeps the world running but never makes headlines. Delilah and I met at NYU. She was studying marketing. I was buried in engineering textbooks. She was a girl who made everyone's head turn, thick auburn hair, green eyes that could sell you anything. I was the guy who calculated load-bearing capacities for fun. Why'd she choose me? I stopped asking after she said yes to my clumsy proposal at a food truck in Brooklyn. We built a life. Small house in Scarsdale. Decent cars. Friday date nights at that Italian place on Palmer Avenue. She worked for a boutique branding agency. I worked on conveyor systems. We talked about kids someday, maybe a bigger house in Greenwich when my patents came through. I thought we were happy. Guess I was the only one thinking. The first crack appeared on a Tuesday. I came home early, rare, since my boss usually squeezed every minute from my day, and found Delilah on the phone in our bedroom. The door was cracked. I know, baby, I know, she whispered, voice dripping with something I'd never heard before. Just a few more months. The lawyer says we need to establish grounds first. I froze in the hallway. Everett's clueless, she continued, laughing softly. He thinks I'm at yoga. God, Thaddeus, you should see him trying to budget for a vacation. It's almost sad. Thaddeus. The name hit me like a wrench to the skull. Thaddeus Crane. Tech billionaire. 38. Built a software empire by 25. Sold it for $900 million. Then started buying everything else. Art, real estate, politicians. I'd seen his face in Forbes, watched his TED Talks during lunch breaks. And apparently, he was sleeping with my wife. I backed away silently, heart-hammering, and left the house. Drove aimlessly through Westchester, hands shaking on the wheel, pulled into a Target parking lot, and just sat there. How long? Why? What did I miss? I didn't confront her. Not yet. Instead, I watched, started noticing things. How she angled her phone away when texting. The new perfume. Something expensive, French, not the drugstore stuff she used to wear. Gym sessions that lasted 4 hours. Business trips to Boston that never showed up on her work calendar. I checked our bank account. She'd been siphoning money into a separate account for 8 months. Small amounts, nothing that screamed theft, but enough to build a safety net. She'd been planning this. One night, I pretended to be asleep when she slipped out of bed at midnight. Followed the glow of her phone into the bathroom. Heard her whisper, I love you too. Soon, I promise. I threw up in the kitchen sink after she went back to bed. 2 weeks later, she served me. Not with a conversation. Not with tears or apologies. A process server showed up at my office. Handed me the papers in front of my entire team. My boss, Garrett, looked at me like I'd grown a second head. Petition for dissolution of marriage. Irreconcilable differences. Division of assets per prenuptial agreement. Prenup. We'd signed one before the wedding. Her idea. Said it was smart planning since her parents had messy finances. I'd been so in love, I'd have signed anything. Barely read it. Now I understood why. I called her immediately. She picked up on the first ring. Took you long enough, she said, bored. Delilah, what the hell? I'm done, Everett. I've been done. You're a good guy, but you're small. I need more. More? I've given you everything. Everything? She laughed, sharp and cold. You gave me a 3-bedroom house and Olive Garden. Thaddeus showed me what life actually looks like. My vision blurred red. So you cheated. I upgraded. There's a difference. How long? Does it matter? How long, Delilah? A pause. Then, almost casual, since our anniversary. Last year, 13 months. I'd celebrated our 6th anniversary at a bed-and breakfast in Vermont. Bought her a necklace I'd saved 3 months for. She cried. Happy tears, she said, and told me I was her soulmate, while sleeping with Thaddeus Crane. I want the house, she continued, businesslike. The Audi, and per the prenup, half your savings and retirement. That'll leave me with nothing. Should have read before you signed. She hung up. I sat in my car outside the office for an hour, numb. Garrett found me eventually. Knocked on the window. You okay, man? She's taking everything. He winced. Lawyers? Can't afford one. Not after she drains the accounts. Jesus. He paused. Look, take a few days. Clear your head. But I couldn't clear my head, because that night, scrolling through old emails to find the prenup, I found something else. A thread between Delilah and someone named L. Vargas, dated 2 years ago. Subject, asset strategy. LV, the prenup's airtight. He won't see it coming. Make sure he signs without a lawyer present. Sentimental moment works best. Delilah, already planned. Anniversary proposal. Candlelight, wine. He'll sign anything. LV, perfect. Thaddeus will wire the consultation fee once it's done. I read it 3 times. Thaddeus had paid someone to help Delilah trap me legally. 2 years ago, before the affair even started publicly. This wasn't a breakdown. It was a heist. The divorce was finalized in 60 days. She got the house. The car. $53,000 from our savings. My dog, Biscuit, a golden retriever I'd had since college, because the prenup somehow classified him as joint property acquired during marriage, and she claimed emotional attachment. I got a 1-bedroom apartment in Yonkers and $1,700. My friends? Most sided with her. She spun the narrative beautifully on social media. Sometimes you outgrow people. Grateful for the lessons. Excited for this new chapter. Photos of her and Thaddeus at charity galas. Her in gowns worth more than my yearly salary. Meanwhile, I ate ramen and fell apart. Lost 12 pounds in 3 weeks. Stopped sleeping. My work suffered. Missed deadlines, sloppy calculations. Garrett called me into his office. Everett, I like you, but you're a liability right now. I just need time. Take a month. Unpaid. Figure yourself out. So I did. Figure myself out in a shoebox apartment. Watching my ex-wife's highlight reel. Wondering how I'd become the villain in her story. Then the email arrived. Subject. You deserve the truth. Sender. Anonymous helperpoint2024@protonmail.com. No body text. Just an attachment. Crane_financials_internal PDF. I almost deleted it. Probably spam, maybe a virus. But something made me click. It was a 50-page document. Bank transfers. Shell companies. Emails between Thaddeus and his CFO about embezzling funds from his own company, Helix Dynamics, to finance his lifestyle. And there, on page 37, a line item. D. Kincaid, personal consulting, $125,000. Delilah had been on his payroll the whole time. My hands shook. This wasn't just an affair. It was fraud. Conspiracy. A second email arrived while I stared at the screen. Want to know more? Reply if you're ready to stop being a victim. I typed back immediately. Who are you? 3 dots. Then, someone who wants to watch him burn as much as you do. Meet me tomorrow. Bryant Park. Noon. Fountain. I didn't sleep that night. Spent hours reading the documents, cross-referencing names. Thaddeus had built his empire on lies. Fake contracts, inflated valuations, investor money vanished into offshore accounts. Delilah wasn't just his mistress. She was his accomplice. The next day, I sat on a bench by the Bryant Park fountain, leg bouncing, scanning every face. Businessmen, tourists, nannies with strollers. Then a woman sat beside me. Late 20s, dark hair and a tight bun, sharp features. She wore a gray suit and sunglasses despite the clouds. Ever Kincaid? She said quietly. That's me. She handed me a coffee. Lena Vargas. I worked for Thaddeus. Executive assistant for 3 years. The name clicked. L. Vargas. The prenup emails. You helped her screw me. I followed orders. She sipped her own coffee. But he screwed me worse. How? She removed her sunglasses. Her left eye was faintly bruised, covered with makeup. I wasn't just his assistant. Oh, we were together for 2 years, Lena continued, voice flat. He promised me everything. Then Delilah walked into a fundraiser, and I became obsolete. He fired me last week. Non-disclosure agreement. Severance contingent on silence. She smiled bitterly. But I kept copies. Of what? Everything. Financial crimes. Fraud. Bribery. And proof that your wife knew every detail. My pulse quickened. Why tell me? Because revenge tastes better shared. She leaned closer. He took your life. She helped. I want them destroyed. You want your life back. We can help each other. What do you need from me? Access. You're an engineer. You understand systems patterns. I need someone who can think 3 steps ahead. She paused. And I need someone willing to get their hands dirty. Legally dirty. I should have walked away. Should have gone to the police. Played it safe. But I thought of Delilah's laugh. Thaddeus's smug TED Talks. Biscuit's confused face when she took him. What's the plan? I asked. Lena smiled. First, we rebuild you. Then, we dismantle them piece by piece. Lena, and I met 3 more times that week. Each time, she brought more evidence. Flash drives, printed emails, recorded phone calls. We worked in coffee shops, libraries, always moving, always careful. She taught me how to encrypt files, use VPNs, communicate through burner apps. Thaddeus has people everywhere. She warned during our 4th meeting at a diner in White Plains. Lawyers, investigators, politicians. If he catches wind we're working together, we're finished. So what's step 1? She slid a folder across the table. Inside, financial statements, tax returns, corporate filing for Helix Dynamics. He's bleeding money, Lena explained. The company's valuation is fake, propped up by shell investments and cooked books. He's got maybe 6 months before investors notice. And Delilah knows this? She's been helping him hide it. Fake consulting contracts, offshore transfers through her agency. She's in as deep as he is. I felt sick. Why would she risk that? Lena's expression darkened. Because he promised to marry her once his divorce is finalized. He's married. Separated. Wife's in Monaco. She doesn't know about the fraud yet. Lena tapped the folder. But she will, along with the SEC, IRS, and every major news outlet. You want to blow the whistle? Not yet. First, we need leverage. Something that destroys them both personally and financially. She paused. That's where you come in. She opened her laptop, pulled up a patent filing. Kincaid Automation System. Pending approval, U.S. Patent Office. My system. The one I've been developing for 3 years. A revolutionary AI-driven component for manufacturing that could cut production costs by 40%. I'd filed a patent through my employer, Garrett's company, but owned the intellectual property personally per my contract. What about it? I asked. Thaddeus wants it. Badly. Lena zoomed in on an email chain. He's been negotiating with your boss to buy the company, specifically to acquire your patent. Garrett doesn't know that's the real reason. My blood ran cold. When deal closes in 8 weeks. Thaddeus pays $20 million, absorbs the company, and your patent becomes his. He'll license it to manufacturers worldwide, make $500 million in 5 years. Garrett would never sell without telling me. Check your employment contract. Section 12. I pulled it up on my phone, scanned the legalese, and there it was. In the event of acquisition, all employee-owned patents transfer to acquiring entity, with original inventor receiving 2% royalty on gross licensing revenue. 2% of Thaddeus's fortune. Peanuts. He planned this. I whispered, longer than you think. Lena pulled up another file, an email from 18 months ago. Thaddeus to Delilah. Get close to the engineer. Find out what he's working on. If it's valuable, we move on him. If not, you can still take half his assets in the divorce. Win-win. The room spun. Delilah didn't fall out of love with me. She was assigned to destroy me. How long have they known each other? I managed 5 years. College sweethearts, actually. Broke up when he got serious with his wife. Reconnected at a networking event 3 years ago. Lena's voice softened. I'm sorry, Everett. Your entire marriage was con. I couldn't breathe. The proposal. The wedding. 7 years of breakfast conversations and inside jokes and Everett. Lena grabbed my hand. You need to focus. Grief later. Revenge now. How? She smiled. We're going to steal the patent out from under him, sell it to his competitor, and frame them both for corporate espionage in the process. The plan was insane. It was also perfect. Step 1. I needed to quit Garrett's company before the acquisition closed. But I couldn't just walk away. That had raised suspicion. So Lena helped me stage a breakdown. I started showing up late, missed meetings, submitted sloppy work. When Garrett called me in, I broke down crying, ranted about Delilah, said I couldn't focus. Take a leave of absence, he said, sympathetic. Paid. 2 months. Get yourself right. Perfect. That gave me time to work without oversight. Step 2. I contacted Thaddeus's biggest competitor, Meridian Industries, a Boston-based tech conglomerate run by a woman named Astrid Bellamy. Brilliant, ruthless. Hated Thaddeus's guts after he poached 3 of her engineers. I reached out through a mutual contact from NYU. Pitched her my patent. You want to sell before it's approved? She asked during our video call. I want to sell before Thaddeus Crane gets his hands on it. Her eyes lit up. Go on. I explained everything. The acquisition, the timeline, the value. Offered her exclusive licensing for $30 million plus 10% ongoing royalties. Why so cheap? She asked, suspicious. Because I want him to lose more than I want to win big. She laughed. I like you, Everett. Send me the specs. If they check out, we have a deal. I sent them that night. Step 3 was riskier. We needed proof that Thaddeus and Delilah had conspired to steal the patent, which meant planting evidence. Lena still had access to Thaddeus's private server. He'd never changed the credentials after firing her arrogant bastard. She created backdated emails between him and Delilah discussing the patent, my work, how to neutralize me through the divorce. We made them subtle, believable, enough to prove intent without screaming fabrication. Then she uploaded them to a secure folder marked Kincaid Acquisition. Confidential. When this goes public, Lena said, it'll look like they've been planning industrial espionage for years. But we're framing them. They were planning it. We're just accelerating the timeline. She met my eyes, having second thoughts. I thought of Biscuit, of my empty apartment, of Delilah's laugh on that phone call. Not even a little. For weeks later, everything fell apart. For them, Astrid Bellamy's team approved the patent. She wired me $30 million on a Tuesday morning. I signed exclusive licensing rights that same afternoon. That night, Lena sent an anonymous tip to the SEC. Helix Dynamics was cooking books, and proof existed on their internal servers. The raid happened 72 hours later. Federal agents stormed Thaddeus's Manhattan headquarters at dawn. seized computers, froze accounts. The news broke by 9 a.m. Every major outlet picked it up. Tech billionaire Thaddeus Crane under investigation for fraud. I watched from my apartment, coffee in hand, trying not to smile. By noon, they'd found the emails. The fabricated ones Lena planted, mixed with the real financial crimes Thaddeus had actually committed. By 3 p.m., Delilah's name surfaced. Her consulting payments. Her offshore accounts. By 6 p.m., reporters were camped outside her apartment building in Tribeca. I didn't feel victorious yet. Just numb. Then my phone rang. Unknown number. Hello, you son of a bitch. Delilah's voice shaking with rage. This was you. I don't know what you're talking about. The patent. Astrid Bellamy. The SEC. You did this. Sound like karma. Thaddeus is going to prison because of those emails. The emails where you two planned to steal my life's work? Yeah, tough break. Silence. Then, they're fake. Prove it. She choked on the word. Everett, please. They're freezing everything. My accounts, my car, the house. I have nothing. Welcome to my world 3 months ago. I made a mistake. You made a choice. Every day for 13 months. I loved you. Her voice cracked. No, you used me. There's a difference. A long pause. Then quieter. What do you want? I want you to feel exactly what I felt. Lost. Humiliated. Alone. You got your revenge. Are we even now? I almost laughed. Delilah, we haven't even started. I hung up. But here's where things got complicated. 2 days after the SEC raid, Lena called me, panicked. We have a problem. What? Thaddeus knows I'm involved. He hired a forensic analyst. They traced the fabricated emails back to my old login credentials. My stomach dropped. Can they prove you planted them? Not yet. But he's threatening to expose me unless I testify that you coerced me into framing him. What? That's insane. He's desperate, Everett. His lawyers are building a defense. You manipulated a vulnerable woman into corporate sabotage because of a personal vendetta. Will that work? If I cooperate? Maybe. If I don't? Her voice wavered. He'll destroy me. He has resources, connections. I'll go to prison. What do you want to do? Silence. Then, I want to finish this. But I need your help. We met in person that night. A parking garage in Stamford, Connecticut. Lena looked exhausted. Dark circles. Trembling hands. He called me this morning. She said, offer me $2 million in immunity if I turn on you. Are you going to? She looked at me, wounded. Do you think I would? I don't know. $2 million's a lot of money. So is 30, which you haven't shared. She crossed her arms. We're supposed to be partners. Guilt hit me. You're right. I'll transfer her half. I don't want your money, Everett. I want him gone. She pulled out her phone, played a recording. Thaddeus's voice. Lena, sweetheart, I know I hurt you, but we can fix this. Blame the engineer. Say he threatened you. My lawyers will protect you. We could be together again. I stared at her. He thinks you're that stupid? He thinks I'm desperate. And I am. She stopped the recording, but not desperate enough to let him win. So what's the play? We meet him. Tomorrow. I wear a wire. Get him to confess everything. The fraud. Using Delilah. Planning to steal your patent. Full confession. He'll never admit that. He will if he thinks I'm coming back to him. Men like Thaddeus can't resist gloating when they think they've won. She smiled coldly, especially to the women they've conquered. The meeting happened at a hotel in Midtown, the Plaza. Lena wore the wire, FBI-grade equipment she'd bought from a private investigator contact. I listened from a van outside, hands sweating, while a tech guy monitored the audio. Thaddeus arrived at 8 p.m. sharp. I watched him enter through the lobby cameras, tall, silver-haired, wearing a suit worth more than my car used to be. The wire crackled. Lena, you look beautiful. Cut the crap, Thaddeus. Why am I here? I missed you. You fired me. I made a mistake. Delilah was a distraction. You were always the one I truly cared about. Even through the static, I heard Lena's disgusted exhale. If you cared, you wouldn't have thrown me away. I'm trying to make it right. 2 million. Clean slate. We disappear together after this SSC mess blows over. And Everett Kincaid? What about him? You want me to say he forced me to plant evidence. A pause. It's not entirely untrue. He approached you, didn't he? Fed you information? You're saying he masterminded this? I'm saying he's a desperate man who manipulated you. My lawyers just need you to confirm that narrative. What about the patent? What about it? You were going to steal it. I saw the emails. Thaddeus laughed. Those emails are fabrications. Kincaid created them to frame me. No, I read the real ones. From your private server. You and Delilah planned the whole thing. Marry her to him, get close, file for divorce, take his money and his invention. Silence. Lena, how much has he told you? Everything. Including how you paid for the prenup lawyer 2 years ago. More silence. Then low and dangerous. You're recording this, aren't you? The tech guy swore. He made her. My heart stopped. Thaddeus, wait. Where's the wire? Your purse? Your bra. I'm not. A scuffle. Fabric tearing. Lena yelped. The audio cut out. I bolted from the van, sprinted into the hotel. The tech guy shouted after me, but I didn't care. Took the elevator to the 12th floor, burst into the hallway. Room 1247. I pounded on the door. Lena. No answer. I kicked it. Once. Twice. The lock splintered. Inside. Thaddeus had Lena against the wall, one hand around her throat, the other ripping the wire from her blouse. Get off her. I charged. He spun, eyes wild. You. I tackled him. We crashed into a table, glass shattering. He was bigger, stronger, but I had rage. We grappled. Punches, elbows, desperate animal violence. Lena screamed, stop. Hotel security burst in, pulled us apart. Thaddeus was bleeding from his nose. My lip was split. He attacked me. Thaddeus shouted. Both of them, conspiracy, extortion. Shut up. Lena gasped, holding up her phone. I got it all. Video and audio. She'd been recording on a second device the whole time. Thaddeus went pale. The confession went viral within 24 hours. Lena sent the video to the SEC, FBI, and as insurance, leaked it to 3 journalists simultaneously. By morning, it was everywhere. Crane admits to corporate espionage scheme. Billionaire caught on tape confessing to fraud. The video showed everything. Thaddeus admitting the patent theft plan. Bragging about using Delilah. Threatening Lena. His lawyers tried to spin it. Coerced confession, entrapment, but the evidence was overwhelming. The real emails, the financial records, witness testimonies from Lena and me. Helix Dynamics collapsed. Stock went to zero. Investors sued. Criminal charges piled up. Fraud, embezzlement, conspiracy, assault. And Delilah? She tried to cut a deal. Testified against Thaddeus in exchange for reduced charges. But prosecutors weren't interested. She'd been too involved, too complicit. Both of them were indicted. 3 months later, I sat in a courtroom gallery, watching sentencing. Thaddeus got 12 years. Federal prison. No parole. Delilah got 6. When the bailiff led her away, she looked back at me, tears streaming, mouthing, I'm sorry. I didn't react. Just watched her disappear through the side door. Lena sat beside me. Squeezed my hand. How do you feel? Empty, I admitted. I thought I'd feel triumphant, but I just feel tired. Revenge isn't about feeling good, she said quietly. It's about balance. They took everything from you. Now they have nothing. What about us? She smiled. We have $30 million, a successful patent and no criminal records. I'd say we're doing okay. We stood to leave. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed, but we pushed through. 6 months after that, I moved to Portland, bought a small house with a yard, adopted a dog, a rescue mutt named Pancake. Astrid Bellamy's company launched products using my patent. It revolutionized the industry, exactly like I predicted. My royalties came to about $4 million a year. I didn't need the $30 million. So I split it with Lena, half each, like we'd agreed. She moved to Barcelona, started a consulting firm helping whistleblowers take down corrupt executives. Sent me postcards every few months. One arrived last week. Just 4 words. We did good, partner. And Delilah, she wrote me from prison. A letter. 7 pages. I almost threw it away, but curiosity won. She apologized. Over and over. Said she loved me once, before Thaddeus got in her head. Said the person she became wasn't who she really was. Said she'd spend the rest of her life regretting what she did. The last page had a single question. Do you think you'll ever forgive me? I wrote back. 1 sentence. Forgiveness is for people who deserve it. You don't. I mailed it. Felt nothing. But here's the thing about revenge. It doesn't erase the pain. Doesn't undo the betrayal. Doesn't give you back the years you lost. What it does, it gives you your power back. Thaddeus and Delilah thought they could take everything from me. My money, my work, my dignity. They thought I'd just roll over and accept it. They were wrong. I rebuilt. I fought back. And I won. Not because I was smarter or richer or more connected, but because I refused to stay a victim. Oh, and one more thing. Remember Biscuit? My golden retriever? Delilah's lawyer contacted me last month. Said she's surrendering custody since she can't care for him in prison. I picked him up yesterday. He's older now, gray around the muzzle. But when he saw me, he went absolutely crazy, jumping, licking, tail wagging so hard I thought it'd fly off. We're in Portland now. He loved the yard, chases Pancake around, sleeps at the foot of my bed every night. Sometimes, late at night, I think about everything that happened. The lies, the betrayal, the rage. And then I look at Biscuit, snoring beside me, and I think, I didn't just get revenge. I got my life back. And that's the best revenge of all. So that's my story. The marriage that cost me everything. And how I made them pay for every penny. If this hit you in the chest, do me a favor. Smash that like button. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Drop a comment telling me what you would have done differently. And if you haven't already, subscribe, because I've got more stories that'll blow your mind. Thanks for listening. And remember, no matter how bad things get, you're never truly powerless. You just have to decide to fight back.